Good morning, everyone. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me to speak. And I always love speaking to students and I'll tell you the reason why. Because one, you're the future, right? And the best thing is the generation that is coming after us, more like a Gen Z. You guys are equipped with a lot of information upfront, which we didn't have. So it's always delight talking to you. And secondly, I do a lot of corporate events as well. And with corporates, there is always some agenda. Whenever they call me for a talk or do any speaker sessions or anything, with students, that's never there. You're here just because you want to be here, just because you want to learn, just because you want to be aware of something. So that's why I always love talking to students. Okay, having said that, uh, you already got a brief intro of me, and I'll share a little bit about my journey with you people. So I my journey is slightly different, but if you think about and all the stories you would have heard about trans people and their journey so far, there is always a common theme. There's always dysphoria involved. There is always discrimination involved. There are a lot of factors that are common, but there is always slight variation because at the end of the day, all of us are human and all our experiences are different. So mine is also slightly different. I come from a small town, which is near Pune, and I was born and brought up there in a lower middle class family. So I was aware of my dysphoria from a very young age, maybe like 5 or 6 years old. Uh, but I never acted upon it because somehow I had this feeling that it won't be that acceptable or the discrimination that will come after it would be terrible, especially in small towns. It's a vicious place for trans people or even slightly effeminate people. Your life is basically hell. So I kept it to myself for a very long time. And I was like, I used to do everything that was uber masculine, I would say, right? Just to offset from anyone finding out that I have this side to me. So that is how it has been. And growing up wasn't that easy with that dysphoria. But when you're, and since I was from a lower middle class family, our struggles were different. We were struggling to keep a roof over our head. So the only difference between a lower middle class family and a person who is living on the streets is that you have a roof over your head, you have to pay rents, but you're struggling to pay rents. You have to put food on your table. So all of those third world problems were being dealt with at the at that moment. So in that at that point in time, gender dysphoria felt like a first world problem. It was something that could not, even if I spoke about it, I was sure there could not be anything that would be done about it. So I kept it to myself. But there were these moments when I was alone at home and there was no one around in those solitudes. I kind of raided my mom's closet and wore her saris, and all of it that I learned is by observing my mom how to wear a sari or whatever it is. In those moments, I felt myself. Right? I felt Tanvi. Uh, and that is how life kept on going until in college. So in college, something happened. So we used to frequently move houses, and we landed in a new place. So my solitude got snatched away because my mom stopped going out. So she was always at home. So I thought, and when you don't get to, I mean, that desperation sets in if you are away from it for a good amount of time. So I was not able to dress up. I didn't find my solitude. I could not express myself. So in that moment, I made a hasty decision. I made an incorrect decision. It was exams were over in the college. So I decided, if I can't find that solitude at home, maybe I can try and do something in college. So I put my mom's sari and other stuff in a bag and I went to college. I found an empty classroom. I dressed up. And in that moment, what you need to realize is that you feel like a woman, you are a woman. So in that attempt, there was a women's washroom just next to that classroom, right? and there was no other intent around it. That entire floor was pretty much empty. There was just a reading hall opposite. The exams were over. There was no one around in the class. So I felt it should be okay if I just go in there and just have that moment, maybe just feel like a woman for a moment. So I entered the washroom, but I think there was someone in the reading hall across the room that saw me, and they complained to the admin office. The admin office came, and I was completely in shambles and tears. So I told them that, please forgive me. It was a mistake. It wouldn't happen again and all of that. But still, I told them, just let me at least change out of this sari. If you want to take me to the office, that's okay. They didn't allow me that dignity even. They dragged me just like that and that sari to the office. I kept crying. I kept explaining them about my dysphoria and all of that. Uh, but none of that really helped. They ended up calling the police, and I landed in the police station. Then my parents came and they bailed me out of there. I mean, there was no case or anything. It was just a slight kind of warning because, to be honest, I hadn't committed a crime. Wearing a sari in public is not a crime. So when my mom reached the college, she was furious. So she asked the principal, why would you send my child to the police station? Whatever it be, if my child wore a sari, how does it really matter? And the principal was like, your child entered the women's washroom. We don't really know what the intention of your child was. Maybe they could have committed a murder. How would we know? So from wearing a sari to being labeled as a murderer, that wasn't that far of a journey for that principal of an educational institute. And that saddens me till this date. And that torture didn't end there. So I had to study in that same college for the next 3 years. I completed my master's degree from that same college. Then the moment that happened, I just moved to Pune. I just shifted from that small town because I couldn't live under that, because those 2-3 years were terrible. Because the people that had apprehended me from the admin office, some of them used to look at me whenever I went to the library or someplace. Those people would be there. I stopped going to these admin offices because there would be this perverted eyes that would follow me in those places, and your skin kind of crawls when they're looking at you that way. You realize it. I'm sure many of the women in our society feel that way when they walk around. You'll always find men like that around. So that was a journey. After that, I found my first job. I took the first job I got, and I just wanted to move out of that small town. I moved to Pune. It was for 1 year. I did a night shift as an online tutor. But as soon as that was done, I got another job, and my second job was something that actually paved the way for whatever I am today. It gave me good opportunities. I had amazing mentors. So in that organization, I kind of spent 6 years. I ended up getting promoted like 5 times. I had amazing people around me, amazing mentors who gave me the right opportunities. And after that, somewhere around 2018, was something that I started thinking about my gender dysphoria and started thinking that I should take some action about it, because I was getting closer to 30, and in the Indian society, as per the standards, I was earning good money. My parents were like, let's get you married, this and that. And I was like, see, I can't do anything unless I figure out what it is. And that is when I started therapy. It was around 8 months to 1 year of therapy where I was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicine, because I couldn't sleep. For years, I couldn't sleep because this was constantly a thought in the back of my mind. It is like that constantly buzz noise that you hear at the back of the mind. So after that, then I got my gender dysphoria certificate. I started my hormone therapy somewhere around early 2020, 21, I guess, 20 or 21. And I've been on hormone therapy for that long. But then again, that incident in the college has scarred me so much that I still can't be myself in public. And that's why I admire people like Sana and maybe Akka, who are not afraid to be themselves in the society. How Sana said that people stare at you, people make you uncomfortable. The moment you step out of public, they look at you like you're an alien. And for some reason, I'm afraid of that. Right? I'll be honest, I'm afraid of that. So I don't really fall or I can't really be that authentic in the public yet. Someday I'll find that courage for sure. Somewhere around last year, I came out publicly. It was by complete accident, just like how my parents found out by complete accident about me. There was a Facebook. I used to have two profiles on Facebook, basically. One for my authentic self, Tanvi, one for my male self, which was connected to all those people. By mistake, I put up a dressed up picture on my main profile, and the moment I realized that it was by then too late, it was like an hour or so up, comments had started pouring in, and then it was a terrible feeling. It was like someone pulled out my intestines. Like there was a vacuum in my tummy. I was so afraid that people have found out, the people that I work with, the people that are my friends from my life. So I took a day off from work. I decided, see what's happened has happened. I was at a friend's place. He quoted a line from Kung Fu Panda to me saying that there are no accidents. It was time that you told the world what you are. So next day I put up a post about what I feel, what I am, about my dysphoria, and what my journey is currently. I received a lot of love. There was also a good amount of hate that came with it. Uh, but all in all, it was a very rewarding thing to happen, because that constant buzz I told you about, that had gone. Now I was out there in the open. I was out there. Now people know what I am. So I don't have to worry about it. After that, my life kind of has been a 360 completely. I have the things that I've achieved after that, whether it be Ally Nation, whether it be my passion for writing and speaking, or whether it be that TEDx, or whatever happened, has been a byproduct of me being my authentic self. And I always feel that is being your authentic self comes with a lot of hate, but it also comes with a lot of rewards, right? You get a lot of opportunities. You get to be a voice of a community that, as you rightly call this event, it's an unheard community. And I understand my privileges. I have the privilege of education. I have the privilege of being able to stand on a podium and articulate my thoughts and present it to you people. And that is where I use my privileges of being a vocal LGBTQ advocate, to speak up for people that are still in the closet. And everyone is valid, right? Even though I don't go out the way I should, I don't fit the non-binary box image of a trans woman. I may not look like a woman, I may not dress up like a woman, does not mean that I'm not one, right? However it is, and everyone, it's not what you expect people to be. It is who they are. That is what you should respect them for. So, and that is why I'm leading this, and I speak on these public platforms, so that I can raise awareness around people like me also exist, people like Sana also exist, people like everyone exists in this society. And all of us deserve the same opportunity as everyone else. And it it's not that, just to add the last piece is, does life become easier after coming out? Not really. I still have a lot of struggles. I still suffer through a lot of anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, and whatnot. But it doesn't really reduce your struggles, but it better equips you to uh, go navigate through them. So that is how it is. I just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and that is how life has been. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for giving me this podium to speak to all of you. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm looking forward to seeing you all someday. So thank you so much.